Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is go time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J Was Good Today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.
What is good, folks? What it do? It's a brand new Wednesday, brand new week. So you already know what that means. Brand new episode of PD&J. What's good today?
Oh, do you know what today is?
Hump Day.
No. A couple days after Juneteenth. I don't know.
I don't know where you were going with this, bro.
Hump Day. Well, I guess it is Humpity Hump Day. Shout out to Digital on the ground. How y'all doing today, y'all? It's Pocket and Jay. What we got going on? We got a lot going on.
Got a lot going on. Yeah, but so how was your Father's Day and your Juneteenth?
You know, Father's Day in our house is special because they make me feel special. So I shout out to my wife and my daughter and my son, who actually wasn't here, but I mean, he gave me a call. Me and him chatted it up for a while. He's back home with grandma, back east. Her mother. When I say grandma, people think my mother, not my mother. Obviously, that would be kind of hard. I hope, But he's back with her mother. So shout out to them. Felt special. Made me felt a little special. Rough time of the year, right? But,
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's what family's for. Making it happen. How was yours?
Low key, it was peaceful and laid back. Good. I actually enjoyed myself.
Well, I'm surprised nobody got on me because for the first time in a long time, I actually posted pictures on Father's Day for Father's Day.
Is that what we're doing?
I mean, I gotta say it because ain't nobody else gonna say it. Ain't nobody gonna hold me accountable for me. Well, actually, no. Shout out to Darian from DGAT Designs. The gift I got from him, I love it. It's a shot glass thing.
A shot glass thing or a shot glass set?
Well, we can call it a set.
Okay.
Because I'm the only one taking shots out of it. Although it says friends don't let friends take shots alone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got two friends. 1 and 2. 4 glasses. We'll make it work. We'll make it happen. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody, Mike, when you come on, I hope your Father's Day was good. Who else? One of our long-time listeners. Trulu. Hope your Father's Day was good.
DJ CJ Smooth.
Hope your Father's Day was good.
Had a great guest last week. If you guys didn't get a chance to look at that episode, go into our YouTube archive. Definitely pull that one up.
Well, I'm going to say it like this. If you didn't see the episode, first of all, go back to last week and just watch it. There's a lot of informative things happening there. There's a lot of heartfelt stuff being said. Go back and watch it, y'all. You're doing it justice if you don't. Matter of fact, you do yourself injustice if you turn off something because there's nobody you heard of, because you might learn something. That's the whole point. How do we get ahead if we keep holding each other down? But I'm not going to say that right now. I guess I already did.
So let's just get right into it, folks. I want to talk about something real quick. Before we get into the Juneteenth celebration and everything else like that.
I don't see the likes moving. The likes need to move.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Definitely to our old subscribers and our new ones, definitely hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's make this happen.
Right meow. Not right Mara, right meow.
So let's jump right into it. This is what I want to ask you. Do you think that your phone tracks your movements and certain things? And basically, do you think your phone is a whole soliciting tool in product placement?
Okay, that's not the right question. So we know the answer is yes. The question is, how many of you have not turned off? So you're not being tracked. That's the question. How many of you actually know how to do it? How many of you Googled how to turn it off?
Good question. I mean, at the end of the day,
you know what? Our folks aren't going to admit it. How about I say this? So, in light of the fact that we know you've not turned it off, how many of y'all on your phones? Let's see, how many hours in a day? 24, right? So out of that 24 hours a day, you're in your phone. We'll say 18, right? You're in your phone 18 hours a day. How many of you use your phones actually what they're for looking up stuff?
No, let me ask this question. How many times have you just had a general conversation with somebody, not including your phone? Phone is put away to the side somewhere, right? Maybe close by, but within 5 minutes of you mentioning something, or I want to go someplace, I want to eat a certain type of food, or I need to go and get this particular item, does it pop up on your phone within minutes of you mentioning it?
Well, my wife complains about that all the time. But I know I've turned that portion of the microphone off. Unless I'm on my phone doesn't do anything. But a lot of times this comes from my search history, because what you guys don't know, you know when it says accept or reject cookies, you got to look at the little fine print there. It's basically saying, hey, you don't mind if we track what you're looking at so we can send you suggestions. And then you wonder why. I've been looking at Oreos and Domino's pizza. Now I get all these pizza advertisements and Oreo cookies because you accepted the accept all or accept cookies. That's what that's about. That's the tracking. So a lot of times what you got to do is you got to blame yourself. Now, the other times, like with you, way forsaken Apple users, which I'm gonna get on y'all in a minute here. When something came out,
Why you got to get on the users?
I'm gonna tell you in a minute why. Because no, I said in a minute. So you got to count 60 seconds. Somebody put their timer up 60 seconds.
Shut up.
But you Apple users specifically don't know how to turn your Siri off, where she's not hearing everything you're saying. Then you wonder why. Now, people want to say, well, Apple protects me, because if the federal government comes and he wants a warrant, they have to have a warrant to get my stuff.
Not necessarily, because there's been cases where federal prosecutors got warrants and Apple still shuts them down, go to court and everything. That is one thing about, I'm not and I hate to admit it, I'm not an Apple user. I'm not going to say I'm not an Apple user. I just don't have an Apple iPhone. I don't have an iPhone, right? But I have used some of their products, like the iPad. Hell, when I record, we use Pro Tools. The best way to use Pro Tools is on the MacBook. So I'm not going to say that I haven't used their products, but one thing that I do like about Apple, if I was to switch to an iPhone, for the simple fact that they would protect you and your rights in regards to certain authorities digging through your phone.
Now I can say, I said 60 seconds. That was perfect timing. So now let me get on you Apple users. So report came out that Apple is, they took their people and sidebarred them and threatened them for not talking to the union into the court system because they're in trouble about how they treat their employees. But you guys want to support Apple, so go ahead. Go ahead. You'll support Apple and their slave labor, and I'll support Nike in their slave.
Yes, you would.
I'll support Nike.
Yes, you would.
Because it's a product that I believe in. Yeah. It's a product that I believe in. And the fact that when it boils down to it, Nike fits, my wife will tell you, Nike fits me best. So I'm going to support it. I've tried other brands and it doesn't fit the same. So that's just my preference. Now you can't say Apple fits you the same, but you have one. The thing is, when you get one Apple product, you're pretty much locked in. You can't really switch to anything else. You're locked in. You can't move. You can't swim. You can't even dabble in anything else because Apple's got you locked in, which is fine. Totally fine. You like simple, that's fine. Apple's simple. I have nothing against that. But at the same, look into what you're supporting and decide if you want to keep supporting it. Just like, you know where I'm going with that. Go ahead. You know where I'm going. When they want to support something and keep supporting it, then support it wholeheartedly, right?
Okay.
Don't be half-assed like the people supporting the LGBTQ community.
Why we always bring them up in that?
Because they back in the news again, bro. There was a teacher, and I'm meant to send you this article. There was a teacher, male teacher, who decided to wear makeup and everything like that, and then got mad when the parents decided to pull their children out of his class. and he went after the parents. No, wait. What is your job as an educator? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to educate children on the curriculum, not on you know what I'm saying, y'all. I'm confused. You can't come in there wearing a suit with lipstick and blush, eyeliner, what do things called? Eyelashes. You can't come in the classroom wearing that. Everybody's gonna be confused. And you expect the parents not to react? Especially when their kids come home and say, our teacher came and looked like a clown today. What do you mean? He had stuff on that mommy has, the eye stuff, and all. What do y'all expect? What do you expect a father or a mother to do? I'm going to say this. I don't care what you identify as. Just don't confuse my child. Let them stay what they are. As innocent as possible. Let them formulate their opinion when they're ready to formulate it. A lot of these kids, they want to do these surgeries before they even understand what they are. People, I'm on the side of the people that were yelling at Target. They had bathing suits, said tuck and shut or whatever it was. And they were kid size. They weren't adult. These were kids' bathing suits, kids' shirts. So you're trying to dictate what my kid says at 10 years old, 9 years old. I watched a show when my wife and I were on vacation. The show came on about how these kids, the parents will let the kids decide what they want to be at 7, 8, 9 years old. Really, people? So you're telling me a 7-year-old can tell you what they want to identify as. An 8-year-old can tell you what they want to identify. A 9-year-old, come on, y'all. They can't even add and subtract yet. But they can tell you what they want to be. Give me your opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. But I believe my child at 9, 10, even 11 years old, till they reach high school, I don't think they can sit there and tell me what they want to be as far as what they want to identify as. Matter of fact, the other thing that gets on my nerves lately, I saw something where Malik Yoba was being reprimanded for saying it was a conversation about naturally born women. All right, there was a conversation about natural born women. And he was speaking in the past tense of how we were taught to speak of it, right? Well, they corrected him, talking about, you can't say that. You have to say that they were chosen to be. Huh? If you come out with like one of them, with nothing in the middle, you're female, aren't you? If you come out with a little dingly thing, you a male, aren't you? Help me out here. Now all of a sudden, he's like, I was told when I birthed. Well, could you tell me at birth what you were? I don't think so. You were too busy trying to breathe and ready to eat. I'm tired of it, y'all.
Ran over?
Huh?
You ran over?
Well, I said give me a minute to get there.
You got there and now you had 4. Ran over?
I have 1 more minute left. Don't vote for DeSantis. There.
Oh, Lord Jesus, here we go. Speaking of DeSantis, I'm glad that you brought that up. So, how many of y'all have heard about what he's done to Florida lately over the past 3 months?
What have you done in Florida lately? Dun, 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 dun.
So, my thing about Ron DeSantis is this. You made your bed, bro. I hope you lying it. Badly. That's all I'm going to say about this. So, Juneteenth, now recognized, what is it, 3rd year consecutive now that it's been recognized as a national holiday or federal holiday. Let me not say national, a federal holiday. Y'all states that haven't picked it up, y'all need to go ahead and just pick it up.
They'll do it. They're just trying to figure out how.
Just pick it up. You know, at the end of the day, you're not going to win that battle. Just pick it up.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah. So, Juneteenth celebration. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. What a great showcase of a celebration that they had on CNN.
Yeah. Thank you, Questlove. That was a hell of a show. Charlie Wilson, Chloe Bailey, Nelly, Miguel, Corey LeRae, Kurt Franklin, Jodeci, SWV. Star-studded event. I have the opportunity of watching it as well.
What a great showcase of a Juneteenth event.
I still got to go back and watch it. I recorded it. I know we talked about a few things on there that we really enjoyed. Celebration wise, it was a hell of an event. I can't wait. I think it's the first of many to come.
I do too. I really do.
I'm just going to make my 2 cents be known that if you're going to use a gospel artist, use somebody other than Kirk Franklin. There are many other ones that are more powerful and more relevant. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, just Google Kirk Franklin scandal and you'll understand what I'm talking about. That's not just the guy I would have representing gospel music. But I want to go back. I know I looked at some of the highlights. The saxophonist, if I can remember his name, tore the house down. I mean, he tore it down. I mean, if you are into jazz, now you know what? If you're into music, actually, I'm going to erase all that. I don't care what you're into. Go back and watch the celebration and particularly pay attention. I want to say his name was Marvin Williams, but I don't think that's right. Go back and watch the saxophonist in particular. You will be impressed at what this man is blessed to do musically. I've always been, I grew up within jazz in my household, and to see what he did, how he held that note, and I just got to say, wow.
The only disappointing thing about my Juneteenth, I don't know about you, but I'm just gonna say, us black people need to. Can we have a day to ourselves where we can have some peace?
Thank you, said that. I was waiting for you to say that.
Can we literally have one day to where we can have some peace and no violence?
So how about this? I want anyone that's watching the show right now or watches the replay, put in the comments. Besides us, did you hear anyone else say, black people for one day only, can we have no violence for Juneteenth? Let's celebrate with no violence. Did anybody else? Now, did anyone? I didn't hear it. When I was watching everybody talk about Juneteenth, I didn't see anything posted anywhere. It didn't come across. I know it didn't come across the news stations. How about no violence? Because that's not what they want. They don't want positive news in the black community. They don't want positive news in the Mexican community, or the Cuban, or the Asian, or the Haitian. They don't want positive news anywhere. They only like the negative. You know why? Because we always give it to them.
Well, one thing that I can tell you is they haven't. We're assuming that the violence that was caused, and people that don't know what I'm talking about, there were some incidences that happened throughout the country. Obviously, Chicago's one of them. Milwaukee, one in particular. Incident where
we can skip that one.
No, we can't. We can't. We just can't. It was an incident where in Milwaukee, an individual shot 9 people
and shot himself,
including himself. Now, the 9 injured, I would think only 3 of them didn't survive. I think. But what the point of what I'm trying to get to, they never necessarily said that if it was people of color, if it was black individuals.
Exactly.
They never said that. So we don't know if that violence was caused by some bigots that were out there trying to protest the Juneteenth, or if it was caused by our own people. But at the end of the day, the point remains the same. Can we have a day where we don't have any violence? Can we have a week where we don't have any violence amongst
we just push
ourselves?
That ain't gonna happen. At least one day. That's all we asking. Juneteenth, that was the day. You had one, as I said, you had one job and you failed it. Now I know that. Now I will say this: there were a lot of celebrations all over the world for Juneteenth that went off without a hitch. But it seemed like certain cities, they didn't get the memo. It's just what it boils down to. Hold each other accountable, man. If you hear somebody talking about going to do something, stop them. I'm tired of everyone being so scared to do stuff. I'm tired. You know, I'm getting back to the damn soapbox, man. I can't get off. I'm tired of it, y'all. I really am. I am tired of seeing so much violence consistently. I don't care if it's black, white, or it's just violence. The capital V, the big V. I'm tired of it, y'all. I am so freaking tired of it. Especially those of you that know something's going to happen, you do nothing. You're just as bad as the person that does something. Did I say I was tired of it?
I think you did.
Do I need to go back to the Harpo? I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. Y'all so afraid to reprimand this younger generation. That's what they need. They need to be reprimanded. Matter of fact, what they need is Paw to go out, go get a switch, go get the ironing cord, go get your belt, your leather belt, go get something and knock some sense into these kids. Y'all don't want to say, I'm going to say it myself because you're too scared. You're so tired of the woke generation. They're so woke, they can't go to sleep. And that's why they got attitudes. They're not sleeping. So knock them out, put them to sleep.
I've always believed in whooping ass.
Spare the rod, what is it?
No, I'm glad that you brought that up because I'll bring this up. People stop saying that the words itself will spare the rod, spoil the child is in the Bible when it's not. I believe it's Proverbs 13:24. It talks about spare the rod, but it does not say spoil the child. It says you spare the rod to the child that you, for I'm paraphrasing. Let's look it up to be exact.
13:20. He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is diligent to discipline him.
Thank you. That's what it says.
It doesn't say anything about spoiling the child.
It does not say spare the rod, spoil the child.
But that's what's happening though. When you don't knock some sense into them, you're not doing them the justice. Because you don't knock the sense into them, there's a man with a badge or a woman with a badge.
Or a stranger
with a badge. Without a badge. They're not gonna use a rod. They're gonna use a little pew. And they're not gonna spare your child. Matter of fact, you're gonna be burying your child and you're gonna be saying, rest in peace, Pookie. 2000 to 2023 or whatever it is. They're gonna be on the shirt, spray painted. Because you decided to spare the rod.
And spoil the child.
Somebody decided to spare themselves.
Yeah. So stop saying spare the rod, spoil the child. Or if you're going to use that as a saying, use that as a saying. But please stop incorporating that with a Bible verse because it's not.
Matter of fact, I'm going to take it one step further. Stop trying to be your child's friend. That's not what they need. They need you to be the parent. It's okay to be buddy with your kids, but you need to establish some community, some guidelines. Because what's going to happen is they're not going to listen to what you say. They're not going to respect you. When they don't respect you, that's a terrible world to live in. You think you got to get respect from your children because you're buddy with them. That's not how you get respect from your children. You get respect from children when you set that boundary of right and wrong. When you teach them right and wrong, you consistently do it and not depend on somebody else to do it, because the people that you want to teach them ain't going to teach them the way you want them to. They're going to teach them the way they want to. Keep that in mind. Your child, your law. It's not your child, their law. It's your child, your law. It takes a village, but the village establishes off of what the foundation you set.
There are some people that will. You got some grandparents that will rub against the grain, if that makes sense. You establish rules, bylaws.
I know why you went there. I know exactly why you get there. Yeah, there are some, and then you need to have that conversation with them. As your parent, you can have a considerable conversation with your parent about how they treat your child if you're good at it. Or don't depend on somebody else to have a conversation with your parent. Yes, your parent, they raised you. If you don't like what you're saying, you need to say something. Don't depend on somebody else to say something. Because grandparents are going to do what they want to do. But I tell you what, when they see how it affects the relationship when they see the relationship that it affects in the house, they start second guessing things. You start saying ground rules. Okay, if this keeps happening, I'm going to cut off the access that you have. It's going to be minimal. They ain't going to want that. They're going to try and fight you. But guess what? In the back of their mind, they're going to know you're right. And then they're going to start changing things. Because again, remember, your child, your law. Like the one thing I remember watching one comedian, he said, this is not a democracy. And he used his name. And I'll do mine. It's a pocketocracy. Meaning, I hear what you're saying. And depending if it goes along with what I want, I'll let it happen. Some people don't like that. Some people want to call it child services. Only way child services get involved is if you do something completely out of line. Completely. And what that means is you go overboard. They believe in discipline. Check with them.
There's this They call him Bounty Hunter D, I think his name is, where he was a DO, a CO at a prison, at a corrections place.
What the hell is a deal?
A detention officer for jail. You got correction officers for prison, and you got detention officers for county jails. Yeah, found that one out the hard way. Anyway, so he was a CO at a correctional facility, and now what he does his own Scare Straight program with kids. Parents will call them. He'll literally go into their house and put them in handcuffs, have a conversation with them, and go from there.
I know why you said that. You want to hear my opinion, right? If as a parent you have to call somebody else to come in your home to discipline your child, what did I say earlier? You did what? You failed your child.
You got some kids that are just out of control, though.
I'll tell you what. Put them in a room with me.
Again, you wouldn't be their parent.
I don't have to be.
That's why they.
I didn't say the child. I just said put them. So who am I talking about?
Who are you talking?
I'm talking about the damn parent. Put them in a room with me. Put them in a room, and we'll see how much sparing is going to happen. We apologize, folks. I think we went out of focus.
No, it didn't. We're good.
But what y'all need to realize, man, stop depending on other people to raise your child. That is your child.
When they did say it takes a village to raise a child, so there could be some key components, maybe not family, that can come into that village that can help you maintain your standards.
That's right, helping. Correct. That's helping, not depending. There's a difference. Depending means, well, I'm not going to do anything because so-and-so is going to come do this. That's dependent.
So what do you say to those parents that done everything? And for example, the example that I brought in the outside asset as a help, not to depend on them, but like the Scare Straight program. Look, I've tried everything that I could, but this isn't working. Let's try this as a help to see if this works. Now, in some states, they've actually, if memory serves me correct, they stopped using the Scare Straight program, right?
Yeah, because some kids were scared beyond straight.
But I'm not saying that parents should rely on certain assets like that, but assets out there can be a help to that person's village.
Again, like I said, they should be used as a complement to what you're already doing. If it's not working, guess what? That means you're doing it and it's not working. So now you do need the help, but you don't want to sit there and rely on somebody else, because guess what that kid's going to say? You ain't got control of nothing. You ain't even trying. That's what's going to be in that kid's head. You can't do anything, so now you're asking somebody else. You don't do anything. Guess what? It's a different story when, I got mom, I got dad. They can't do nothing with me. Oh, shoot, they calling so-and-so? Oh, hell. I didn't expect that to happen. It's a different conversation. And guess what? Call me in there. And if I have to deal with the child after that, me and you going to have a conversation. What are you doing? And be honest with me. Well, how do you? Well, what did you do? Tell you the truth, I just jacked that little nigga up.
People that know me, they know I like to be kids. I ain't gonna lie. I have a discretion. When my kids were younger, and they had their friends come over and shit like that, I would give the discretion to the parents. If your child does not know how to act right, by the time they leave my house, they will be saying yes, ma'am, no, sir.
I'll put it to you this way. I haven't had the luxury of anybody disrespecting in my house.
No, I haven't had the luxury of doing that, but I do let parents know.
I said luxury. That's
Yeah,
definitely the wrong word.
No, it's not. It's the right word.
That is definitely the wrong word. That would not be a luxury in my house. I remember my daughter, when she brought up her first boyfriend, first thing she said, oh, he don't sag. And I had to think about what she meant. Oh, his pencil hang off his ass. Because she know good and well, if I met him and if it was like that, he'd be going crying home to his mom and his daddy. And God forbid them come say something to me.
Nah, when my kids were younger, man, I've never had that I can't think of a time where any of my kids' friends that came over we had an incident. I could think of a neighbor that we had an incident with, but he wasn't really friends with them. But I can't think of all my kids were raised respectfully, and it seems like the friends that they get when they come in, they have a respect. Like when they get into the car, if I pick them up and I pick their friends up, we're going somewhere, whatever case may be, they are polite. Now, outside of that aspect, I'm sure my kids cuss up a storm.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. So I'm gonna put this out there. So I have this. I told you about Bart that I have.
Yeah.
So there was a message from one of my children that came up that said, "Yo, WTF?" I just started laughing. It's a message. I was like, because I told this particular child of mine, look, I know when you're not around us, you cuss up a storm. I don't care, but just don't let it get caught by a teacher and get back to me, because I'm gonna have that ass. I know what happens. Kids are gonna be kids. They hear us do it, so they're not gonna. When they see it on TV, they're going to do it. You can, if you want to sit there and say my kid don't cuss, you're the idiot. You are definitely. You know they cuss, because you can see situations where I'll see situations happen. I sit there and watch them and see. Let me see how you react. And you can sit there trying to think, oh God, what can I say so I don't get in trouble, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. My kids one time said something in front of me and they forgot where they were. It was bad. It wasn't necessarily a curse word, but it was bad enough. It had to do with body parts. And I'll leave it at that. Use your imagination. And I was like, hey, what are you saying? Don't you let me hear you say that again? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Just don't say it again. But it happened. We know. You know what I hate? The parents. My kid don't do that. My son, he's an angel. My daughter, she don't disrespect nobody. Come on, y'all. Be honest with yourself. Do you really think? Look at yourself. Do you talk about people? Are you a quote unquote boss in a situation? Or are you what do we want to say? The asshole of the situation.
Hey, in my house, I'm known as the asshole of the situation because I'm always the hard one. But at the same time, I'm hard for a reason. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not hard on you, life is going to be hard on you. And if you can't handle me, then you're definitely not going to be able to handle life. Salute, Trulu. I see you in the building. I hope your Father's Day was great. Hope your Juneteenth was even better.
Yeah, we already did your shout out. But again, thanks for your Trulu. Blessings to you, my man. Blessings. Glad to see you tuning in.
As you can see, we're talking about these badass kids. I like that new TikTok song that's out there.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. I love it. I wake up playing that shit every day. But I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit in regards to not being so naive of what you think your kid is not acceptable of doing.
You know,
because at the end of the day, your child is a reflection of you. So there's certain things that you've done. Now, times are different. There's nothing new under the sun. Just times have changed.
So now it's being seen more openly. Like, for instance, we had bullies all the time in school. But now with social media, unfortunately, there's no turning it off.
There's social media bullies now.
Now the only outlet is I'm going to go get the house gun and go to school. I'm going to go get a knife out of the drawer and go to school.
And that's another thing. Parents, stop letting the government and TV raise your kids. When we talk about it takes a village to raise your child, we're not talking about Fortnite. Not talking about Call of Duty. I'm not talking about Grand Theft Auto. I'm not talking about what they see on TV, what they hear off of TikTok. It's you and your village.
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing. Do you know your neighbors? That's part of your village. You'll be surprised what your neighbors see your kids doing. You'll be surprised. We have a neighborhood watch here. You met my neighbors too, remember? Like, we had the neighborhood watch meeting, and he came with me. We actually, chopped it up with the neighbors, and just hearing some of the things that's going on in the neighborhood beyond what we knew, beyond what I knew, I should say. And I'm like, you know what? If I see something, where do you live? If I see something, I'll let you know. That's how you build your neighbor. Y'all need to get back to that, man. Get back to knowing your neighbors. It ain't being it's not just because you know your neighbor's name doesn't mean you want to be all in their business. That just means I know your name. If I see something on my camera that happens in your house, I damn sure want to tell it.
Yeah. I grew up in the neighborhood. I don't know about you, but I kind of grew up in the neighborhood where we didn't have cameras, but we had Miss Johnson. We had Miss Jones.
Well, we had cameras,
Miss
but
Pearl,
they were living cameras.
Miss Josie. You know, I can remember a time where I got in trouble at school, and I guarantee you my neighbors knew about it before I got home because I got 3 ass whoopings before I made it home to my grandmother and my mama before they whooped my ass. That's the type of neighborhood that I grew up in. It taught me respect, taught me discipline, it taught me values, and it put morals and established morals. We need to go back. That's why I said don't let the government raise your kids, because at the end of the day, the government is going to say, oh,
they're going to raise your kids to go to jail or die.
They're going to institutionalize your kids, but they're also going to tell you, oh, it's illegal for us as parents to beat our kids. I'm not saying you got to beat your kids, but discipline, whoop that ass. Whoop that ass.
There's a difference. There is a difference. A beating and a whooping. Technically, I think I'd have it a beating. The whooping lasts for days.
That's real deal. Truly said that's real deal. He couldn't do shit without his neighbors telling on his ass. That's real.
I remember Mr. Tracy, right across the yard of my mother, man. I would sit there, I would get locked out. So they would tell me, well, go to Mr. Tracy's house and wait till we get home. When you see us pull up, come on back over. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't remember to take my key to school. I was a latchkey kid. Most of us were in my generation, latchkey kids. And man, I miss them days. We need to have them back. I don't think we can go backwards. We can go forward in a respectful way.
I think this newer generation needs to, they need respect beat into them. Not taught. I'm just going to say
I hear what you're saying.
I'm going to say it. They need this living shit beat into them.
I hear what you're saying, but it's funny. Like, when I hear we're in the mall, my wife laughed at this the one time, and this kid is saying, hey, OG, hey, OG. And
you don't
it's
know
only
like that.
It's me and my wife walking, and she nudges me. She's like, hey, babe, he's talking to you. I was like, huh? I looked around like, well, goddamn, you sure? I'm the OG now. Out of respect. That's a respectful thing to say. Hey, OG. He didn't say, hey, bro. Hey, Nig. Hey, this, that, and other. He said OG as a sign of respect. He could have said, hey, sir. That would have been way more respectful in my eyes. But in this day and age, hey, OG is the same thing as hey, sir. But it was funny to me to hear that. I was like, oh, man, that's me. Now, we're saying the generations. Now, the younger generations you get, here's. I'm going to tell you this story. I don't know if I told you guys this before.
I want to address this, but go ahead.
So my kids' school, I was up there one time for something. I think we were up there for something, one of the assemblies or something like that. So this one kid, I never will forget, oh man, was dropping F-bombs, all kinds of bombs. I stopped in my tracks and turned around and I looked. And they saw the fear of God in their eyes when I looked at them. And I just said one thing. I was like, I hope with your mouth, your parents do not know you talk like that. You got to know you don't know who knows your parents, and you can get back to them. Every time that kid saw me from that point on, respect.
I want to address this comment. Good discipline training doesn't exist anymore unless you get the shit beat into you. Because here's the problem of what this new woke generation.
Actually, no. Here's the thing: you got to ask him, what does he mean by good discipline training? Once he sets that standard, that gets you an idea of where the conversation goes. Because his get discipline training could be the same thing.
Could be, but if it is what I think he's going with, these generation of kids would shoot you, stab you, set you up. You heard about the 17-year-old that set up his parents, right? It's just beyond. It's beyond my imagination about discipline now. And for me, what taught me discipline, you act out of line, you got dealt with accordingly. Period. Whether you're in public, now you don't talk about what goes on behind four walls. And that's another thing that I want to talk about too.
I can tell you, this day of social media, Even what happens in Vegas don't stay in Vegas anymore.
Exactly. But we need to go back to having that privacy of within your own home. Not everybody needs to know your business. Not everybody needs to know what you ate every day. Not everybody needs to know what, I'm just going to say it. That there's people, oh, I wore this today. I wore that today. And who cares? Are you benefiting society?
Well, the only thing is, if you're benefiting and you're getting a brand deal out of it, by all means, go ahead.
Now that I can understand, but if you're not getting a brand deal out of it and you just
doing it to be doing it, trying to get the brand deal, then find another way to do it. Find another way to do it. Folks, discipline training. I'm still curious to what is his idea of discipline training. I have not, as you saw, I didn't come to you at it at all. I'm just curious to what you have to say about it. But before you tell us what you have to say about it, why don't we go to a commercial?
Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Brand new episode of PD&J. What's good today? I'm your host, Jay.
I'm your host, Pocket. If you haven't been here trying to understand what we're talking about the generational changes that need to happen starting at home. Before we went to break, we had a question for Trulu about, what is your idea of good discipline training? And guess what? We got a reply. Show it up. Every child admires or wants something. That whole work for what you want. Take pride in what you actually worked for. Most little cats want respect, so we show them how to really get it. There you go. I had a feeling, an inkling that's what you were getting to. But again, like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'd rather you speak for yourself and then we elaborate on it. I get what you're saying.
Does his younger generation want to listen to that, though?
Some do.
Some do, but the ones that really,
okay, all right, I'm going to tell you like this. Some do, and I have not personally run into any that don't. Because I think it's how I relate to people. Like my wife can tell you, and people around me can tell you, kids gravitate towards me, and everybody wants to talk to me when we're out in public. I could be having a bad day, not wanting to talk to anybody, and guess what? I'm going to say hi, and then all of a sudden, somebody's got diarrhea of the mouth. So what do I do, being the nice guy that I am? Okay, 5% of the time, the nice guy that I am, that I'll listen. I'll acknowledge. I'll reciprocate, and sometimes give an opinion.
But I think this is what it really boils down to as far as his answer is. I think he wanted to say this: as OGs, we write the meaning of boss, etc. So as far as us now, like you said, we're the OGs now, right? So there's some OGs that's out there that don't carry themselves accordingly.
How old are you?
Look, they call it. I've had you ask my wife. We've been some places. What up, OG? What up, Pump? Come on now. It happens. I've had that happen to me too. Don't let these gray hairs fool you.
What gray hairs?
Yeah, I got a sprinkle. I got a little sprinkle.
Shit, that's a sprinkle. I almost have a waterfall.
You do.
I ain't chasing them motherfuckers.
No, but I get what he's saying as far as but like I was going to my point, a lot of our generation of adults now, even some older ones, don't carry themselves in a respectful way. So how are you going to respect somebody that doesn't respect themselves? You see what I'm saying?
See, I can't talk about that because
I see it. I'm not saying that you do it, but I'm sure you see it too.
What I'm saying is, yes, I see it, but I can't speak on it because that's not me. That's what it is. It's not me. I give people. See, people say respect is earned and not given.
Not given. Correct.
I don't agree with that.
In some cases, you do show respect to get respect, but in most cases,
listen to what I'm saying. I do not agree with that because if that was the way the world worked, then we would have half the issues that we do in the world. Meaning, I'm going to give you a leash. It's up to you if you choke yourself or you earn more of the leash.
Chulu is on it today. That's all they really want is to be heard, understood, and mattered.
There you go. But now, I will say this. One thing I watched, we got to start bringing that back. We can show the videos too, things, because there's something I saw, and I think I sent it to you, where this guy said,
I'm glad you brought that up. Social media, stop doing that. All these platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I appreciate you guys letting us be able to
express ourselves.
Yeah, but stop the censorship, because there's a lot of good information that's out there. I understand that you want to fact check and you want to do this and make sure you're putting
actually no. Okay, now whoa, you brought up fact check. I'm gonna stop you right there. They don't fact check. They agenda check. There's a difference.
Correct.
There's no fact checking. There's agenda checking. Now, what I want to say is there's been some extremely talkative videos, and one of them I actually do want to talk about. I don't know if we're gonna do it. Well, I might bring it up, but they want to be heard, right? And it goes back to this right here. As OGs, we rewrite the meaning of boss. Because guess what? Yeah, they see Lil Wayne, they see Drake, they see Young Boy,
NBA Young Boy.
Yeah, NBA Young Boy. They see YNW team. They see all this stuff. They see the Migos, but they want to understand. I used to think that, man, they see all this stuff and they want to be that. No, they want to understand how to get that, what they got. They want to understand it. And as OGs, being the bosses, we got to show them, hey, you can't do it that way. Stop turning. When you see something about to happen, stop turning a blind eye, man. Guess what? If you step up and say something because they consider you the OG, they're going to listen to what you have to say. There was an incident last year, matter of fact, at a gym. There was an incident at a gym, and this really touched my heart here. There was a guy who was going to shoot this kid, and the OG realized he was going to shoot him. He saw him reaching and is going to his bag to pull out the gun. He got it out. The OG walked up to him and grabbed his hands like, hey, man, first of all, this is not the place at the time. Just because you're getting beat, take it and live another day. Like, you do this, your life, his life, your family, his family, it's all over. And then you know you're going to shoot other people because they saw it. Do you want to really live that? And you know what he did? He uncocked it, gave the OG the gun, and said, you're right. You know what that man did? He was the guardian angel for everybody there, first of all. And second of all, he saw an opportunity to change a young man's life. That's what's not happening. I didn't tell you what race was involved. I didn't tell you any of that because it doesn't matter. What matters is an OG stepped up. That's what's supposed to happen. Stop letting things happen. You step up, it's going to change the game. We got to stop letting the media be the OG when we are the OGs of our neighborhood.
Here's another example. Stop. How can I say this? Stop glorifying the trap game, because a lot of these kids nowadays are seeing the trap game. Yes, I get it. If you're down and out, you're from the gutter, that's the only way that you can make it out. I get it, but it's not your only option. It's not. Stop glorifying the mob life, the gang life, and this trap life, because it's either going to get you one or two places.
Stop looking at John Morant for
See, can I have a serious moment? I'll let you have your serious moment.
I'm being serious. You're talking about John Morant, man.
I'm not just talking about John Morant.
NBA young boy.
I'm talking about all of them. Because at the end of the day, they're looking at the trap life, and they're looking at the trap life like it's something to glorify when it's really not. Because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that you're exactly true. Nobody makes it out. You're either gonna make it in jail or you're gonna be dead. One of two stops. That's all you're gonna make. So stop glorifying that trap life, because you have other ways and other means and other methods of making it out.
See, here's the thing. It's a key word that you said in that whole thing. What is it called? What's it called? What kind of life is it? What kind of life is it?
Go ahead.
No, I'm asking you.
I said a lot. So
what kind of life is it called?
You got a whole bunch of lifestyles. Go ahead.
I swear to God, trying to get this man to say something is like trying to pull teeth at the dentist. Trap life. It's a trap. Listen to the words of what he's saying. It's called a trap for a reason. You can get out. People have made it. But here's the thing. When you get out, stay out and give back. Don't go back. That's not what I said. I said give back. You can be out and give back. Who cares what the hood says about the trap life says about you? Who cares what they have to say about you? Guess what? I'm out. I'm giving back to y'all to make it where I made it. You don't want to do that. You want to talk about me. Guess what? You're making my name grow.
You know what I got to say about that? I ain't talking about you unless I'm talking about you. But if you feel like I'm talking about you, guess what? Guess I'm talking about you. Now, if you're going to keep my name in your mouth, whether it's good or bad, you keep my name in your mouth. So that I appreciate it.
I'm not Will Smith. Keep my name in your mouth. The more you talk about me, the more notoriety I get.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now,
J-Dub and Pocket, they ain't good for nothing. All they want to do is just talk about how we need to do this and we need to do that. But y'all don't know how much we give back to our community.
Y'all don't know what we took to get where we got.
You guys don't know the charity work that we do.
Those that, you know what I said in the beginning? Those that know me, what? They know me. Those that don't will get to know me. And those that gossip, keep gossiping because you put my name in places that I can't even access. I thank you for that. I really do. I thank you for putting our show in places that we probably ain't been yet. We ain't been there yet.
And that's another reason why you need to stay out the trap life. Right there. Once the boys
know you moved weight, they strip you.
And what he means by the boys is the one time. Not even just the one time. It could be your neighbor. It could be your homeboy. Once the boys know that you on scene, on set, they're going to do whatever they can to take you off set. What is that line of state property? Get down and lay down. One or two things going to happen.
Now, I'm going to say this, and people going to feel a certain way. This is geared towards you black thugs to claim your thugs. Check-ins. Stop going to your black people to get check-ins. Awfully quiet on that, isn't it? Stop checking your black folk. Check everybody else. That's what you should be doing. Y'all still in the slave mentality and will never get out of it because you know what? You feel like it's a safe space. It's not going to be a safe space for long. I'm telling you right now. It's not going to be a safe space for long. So stop making people check in when you should be checking in the others. Check in the others, not the brothers. If you want to be about it. If you're going to be about it, be about it. Make everybody do it. Oh, yeah, he's right about that too, right there.
Yeah, I mentioned that too. Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
But like I said, not just the one time, not just the legal ones. You got snakes in the grass. And them snakes could be your closest friend.
Well, the thing is, if you let a snake get close to you, you can't see it's a snake, get a new prescription.
Hey, what did they say? There's some good camouflaging snakes out there.
As they say, if you know, you know, and if you don't, then you need to get people that do. Get people that protect you. No, actually, I'm sorry. No. I am wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't get people that protect you. Get people that correct you. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Do not get people that protect you. Get people that correct you. Because if you got a bunch of yes men in your corner, you're bound for absolute failure. You need to have somebody that checks and balances. That's how our quote unquote government is supposed to work, right? It's not. There's no checks.
There's no check though.
Exactly. Everybody's balancing, but there's no checks. What you need in your life is a check and balance. You need to keep that going because that's what's going to make you successful.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up because that actually leads me to my last topic that we're going to discuss here. Mike, I see you truly turned in on this one. Are you your brother's keeper? Are you your brother's keeper? I'm going to pause that right there. I want them comments to come in. Hit them like buttons. And for those that aren't subscribers, hit the subscribe and the share button, but definitely hit that like button. Now, Do you think as far as the question goes, are you your brother's keeper by your definition? Because everybody has a different definition of what that means, right?
So how about this? Before anybody's interested,
We got a comment. Absolutely.
But
What's your
define it.
definition of are you your brother's keeper? Tell me that, Trulu.
Okay, let's give him a scenario. Let's give him a couple scenarios. I'll give him one, you give one. How about that?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with the first one. Here's a scenario. Am I my brother's keeper? Somebody I'm close to, their significant other cheated on them. They shot that person and the person they cheated on. Came to you saying, I'm messed up. Can you hide me? What do you do?
Well, that is actually a tricky situation.
No, it's not tricky.
What would you do?
Put it this way. As the law goes, if I aid you, we both going down. I got a family. I got a life. What I'm going to do for you is get you a lawyer.
Now, he wants you to say that again, as far as the scenario.
Well, is it the scenario you want to say again? Or we don't know. It just says say that again.
Say the scenario again.
Scenario. My homeboy or homegirl, right? They get in a scenario where they're cheated on by their significant other. They shoot their significant other and the person they're cheating on. They caught them together. They come running to me. They tell me what happened and say, can you help me? What can I do? Your question was,
are you your brother's keeper?
And what did I say? As the law states, you go down, I go down with you for aiding you. But I ain't going down with you, but I will get you a lawyer.
What if it's your actual brother, not your homeboy?
I just said what I would do. It's not changing. It's not changing. I have to do what's best for my family and me. I can't be in jail because I was dumb enough. Because you know what's going to happen? My spouse is going to be like, you really just went down with him because he's your blood? That's not the way it goes. You get them a lawyer. You support them with that lawyer. Matter of fact, in this day and age, everybody's claiming insanity and it's working. So guess what? You're claiming insanity. We're going to tell a lawyer everything you said. We're going to do everything we can to help you. But I tell you what, this Negro right here ain't going to jail with you. That ain't happening. If you end up in jail, I'll put money on your books. You got a place to come to when you're out. I'll take care of you as much as I can in there, but I am not going down with you. I'm a lot older now and a lot smarter. Back in the day, we ride or die. You would have called and told me. I would have went out there with you. That was stupid. I didn't have the responsibility. It was fun. But now, getting older, smarter, and wiser, I got to think about my family and my future. I ain't got that much longer to live. You got to think, for the average person, 80 years on this earth is not a long time. Anytime a turtle can outlive you. Think about it. How long are crocodiles lived around? How long is alligators? How turtles are living 100 and some years, folks. Birds are living 80, 90 years, folks. We ain't got that much time, bruh.
That part. And I was waiting for him to chime in. I was waiting for this comment to chime in. That's why I've been quiet. Your brother's not going to put you in a situation that's going to put you at risk. So you could give whatever scenario you want to.
I hate to tell you that you're wrong because
a real one will handle the situation on his own. So that same scenario that you just gave me, what I would do, I'm sorry, bro. At the end of the day, a real one wouldn't have even came to my house to put me in that scenario in the first place. Now, I agree with you possibly as far as getting that man help as far as retaining a lawyer and legal counsel and stuff like that. But as far as you being my brother, I will hope that you have enough love and respect for me not to even put me in that situation.
I hate to tell you, you're talking about nowadays, y'all. We just talked about how people are nowadays. Now you're not living in today. That's why I gave you that scenario. That's why I gave you that scenario. You got to look at today's day. So you mean to tell me that's what's going to happen? You're not going to put you at risk? then you ain't living in the day.
But that goes back to this statement right here. Where am I at? Right here. That goes back to what we were talking about as far as rewriting the meaning of boss. We can be able to go to the
guess what? If you're a boss, what does that mean? Everything comes at you. So now you're not assessing things as it is. If you're a boss, everything comes your way. It's up to you where you direct it to. That's what a boss does. If you want to teach people, you got to teach. If you're going to teach people as a boss, you can correct them in that situation. Maybe I did leave something out, but you correct them in that situation. Don't, why the hell you bring this bullshit to me? Right? That's what you say. But guess what? You just don't leave it hanging. Because guess what? Now you're in the shit too. Because they came to you. So now you got to take care of it as it is. It ain't about, well, a real one's going to do this. Wrong. A real one nowadays is still coming to your doorstep because you're the boss. Remember that. Got to remember your words. That's what you said. Your dirt is your sin. Yes, we come from that generation. But guess what? If we lose control like that, we're no longer a boss. You can't consider you a boss if you dump that situation on you. If you got put in that situation, there's no way in hell you.
But as a boss, if you put in that situation, that's where you said yourself too. You would help out as far as doing what?
Getting them what they need.
That's boss moves right there.
Right.
So that right there, you kind of, I'm not saying the contradicting is the wrong word. You kind of just answered your own question.
I did not answer my question. The thing is, what y'all said right here, your brother's not going to put you at risk. It's not about, it goes beyond brother at that time. They're looking at you as a boss. They're not, you're still their brother, but looking at your boss. They have nowhere else to go. Where are they going to go? They're going to come to you. Because they know they screwed up. They're going to tell you they screwed up. Yeah, you're going to have a fit. But after you have that fit, now you got to take the situation. It's on your doorstep. You can't sit there. Oh, if he's a real one, he ain't coming to your doorstep. Wrong. That's wrong. Look at nowadays. Look at the situations going on. It's happening every day. If that's the case, ain't nobody anybody's brother. Ain't nobody their keeper. That's the trick within that question.
Everybody don't move the same, and real ones don't have bosses. We are all bosses if we are in our own business. So basically, I think he's saying, if I'm correct, and go ahead and comment on this, Shulu, if everybody mind their own business, they become the boss of their own life.
Then we're back to square one again, isn't it? That means we're all screwed up.
It goes, well, dude, nobody disagreed with that, though. Nobody disagreed that we as individuals are screwed. We're fucked. Nobody disagreed that. Nobody argued that point.
The minute you do something like that, you're no longer a boss. Real ones don't snitch. So, okay, pull it up. Real ones don't snitch. So I'm going to ask you, what's the definition of snitching? What is the definition of snitching? This is a conversation I've had with my kids to help them understand. What is the definition of snitching? Still ain't answer the question, did he?
No, remember, we got to give them some time.
Yeah. But so you got to understand, define snitching, then you're down the right path for being a boss. Define snitching.
Can't be real if you put folks at risk. Now, this is something that I hold this one kind of close to my heart. Like, the ones that you care about, you're not going to intentionally put them at risk, right? Right?
Stop right there.
No, let me finish.
No, stop right there. What's the word you just used out of that key word?
Intentionally. And that's what he meant by this one. And you can't be real if you put folks at risk. If you intentionally are putting folks at risk, you are a cancer that needs to be dealt with. You are the one that needs to be, You know, that's the one that we sit back and we say, okay, that in that scenario of what you brought up. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's where the questions become, well, why would you even come here in the first place? What is it that I can do for you? What is it that you're looking for? These are the type of questions and conversation that I'm going to have with this individual.
I'm glad you mentioned that. My question's been answered. I'm hearing everything. Put it this way: I am acknowledging everything that's being said, but got to go back to what is the definition? What is your definition of snitching? And what's funny is, I'm not going to. I'm just want to hear everybody. I want to hear people's definition.
What's your definition?
Nope, that's not what I'm not going to answer something that I answered a question to. I asked the question. I want to hear everybody's answer. If I define it, then people can change what it means to them. Am I right or wrong? If I ask the question, I give you my definition. Now you can change your definition to meet what I said.
And vice versa. I mean, I can give you my answer,
but I asked the question is the thing.
It still can change your perception of what your answer may be.
Okay, so you know me well enough to say my perception is going to change of my answer.
In some cases, your perception can be swayed.
So my perception can be swayed.
Swayed. I'm not saying that it can be changed. In some cases, it can, but it can be swayed or skewed a little bit. So
now, everybody, for the past year and a half, my perception can be persuaded, skewed, changed out of it. And everything that we've talked about, every question I've asked, now we hear that my perception can be persuaded. My perception can be changed.
Can. Everybody's perception can be changed.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Snitching. Speaking on someone's business to someone else in a way to create drama for the person whose business is spoken on. Basically, not minding your own business.
That's snitching. So, now, I'm going to add a switch to it. Now, here's what is street snitching?
When you, in my opinion, it's close to that. You're speaking on someone's business that you ain't got no business speaking on. Same thing.
So, go back up here. One more. How does that equal to that? If somebody came to you with a situation and you need to get people involved to help you.
Now, we're not talking about the same situation with what you were talking about.
How are we not? Because it's going along with the same situation, bro.
No, because at the end of the day, if your brother or your friend, neighbor, whoever it is, came to you and said that he did something, this, that, and everything else, you said yourself, all you would do is get a lawyer. You're not snitching on them. So how does the snitching come into that scenario is what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what I'm. See, all right, now, here's what I'm going to come with. I'm going to let people understand this. And I'm glad, Trulu, you got it down to, you hit the nail on the head. My thing with people is, anytime you hear something going on, stop saying, oh, man, you snitching. You have no idea what you're talking about. People use that word like it's, I can't even think of a word to equal it to that everybody uses. Cap. There we go. Cap. I just thought about it. The word cap. People use that all the time. Oh, that's cap. Oh, that's this cap. I got you, Trulu. I was just basically leading into something. I got you on that. But so snitching, I really don't need to define it because he defined it right there. He really did define it right there. Now, street snitching is exactly that. What the caveat is, you're telling the authority stuff that you don't know anything about.
Correct. Which is a no-no.
That's what gets people in trouble. But what's happening, the quote-unquote rap game has now misconstrued that word to the point where you don't know what's snitching and what's not. Let's take Tekashi. By that definition, is he a snitch?
He's not a snitch.
He's a rat.
I mean, you brought up the wrong person as an example.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. No, I did not bring him up
rat.
Because what is everybody calling him? They're not calling him a rat. They're calling him a snitch.
That dude's a rat.
That's like the same thing with Snoop. What? And I like
now they call Snoop a snitch.
Right. And Tekashi pointed out, like, if I'm a snitch, what is Snoop? And he said that.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference.
There's a big difference there. And I don't know if I can believe half of the stories of what they're saying about Snoop.
Or half of what Snoop says come out of his mouth. Because I heard some stuff that's been contradicted that he said. Talking about he was at places where he wasn't even there. Like the whole Nas situation. If you remember that they talked about for years. They're saying Snoop wasn't even there.
Yeah, he wasn't that part.
But apparently he knows about it. So he knows what happened.
All of Death Row knew about it, but I'm just saying, I don't think he was there. But as far as the Tekashi, to bring him up as an example,
no,
that's the lowest of
here's the thing. I didn't bring up as an example. I brought him as what people call him. They call him a snitch. But we know as a fact, all of us understand that he's not a snitch. He's a rat who needs to get chased by the cat. He got beat up by the dog.
Trying to be a rapper now?
Oh no, I'm just giving you the facts as it is. I don't rap. I just crush a lot.
On that note, folks, what a great show it has been. Make sure you tune in each and every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until next week, make sure you guys stay blessed.
And also, we want to say sorry we didn't get to sports, but it was a reason for that. Because this Juneteenth thing, I'm telling you right now, let's put it out there in the world. Truly, who you see every day, let's put it out there. Next Juneteenth, no black crime. Let's say it all together. No black crime. Get it on shirts. Put it on your Facebook, Instagram, Instabook, Snap, Hoodle, TikTok, PicPop, all that crap. Put it out there. No more violence on Juneteenth. Let's start that this year. Make it go to next year. We love y'all. See you next week.
That's a powerful statement. I'm going to leave that right there before we go out. What I'm saying is if you are a snitch, you're not a real one. So a cat who calls you a brother but then brings heat into your life is not your brother.
We just ended it on a positive note to go backwards.
No black violence. How about no violence, period?
No. I'm specifically going to black violence because that's what's getting in the news. That's what's starting to highlight the news because guess what? It's not much as far as police violence. Now it's black violence. Let's stop it. One day, that's all we're asking. Matter of fact, what is the next holiday we got coming? Besides 4th of July.
Next year,
besides 4th of July.
As far as the country goes? Or just us?
One that we want to acknowledge. We'll come with y'all next week with it.
That's a good question. What is the next one that we do want to recognize?
Tune in next